What's up, guys? It is 3:26 a.m. Thursday morning, May 4th, 2017. Before I get to the serious main topic of this video, I want to give a big round of applause to WBC President Mauricio Suleiman in the interview with Ellie Sekback, ES News, here on YouTube. The title of the video: WBC President Mauricio Suleiman reaction to Canelo not wanting belt. He made a statement, which I'm going to play for you right now. Hopefully you can hear it.
Absolutely. If you do not want to enroll in the clean boxing program, we don't want you.
All right, I'm going to try to play that again.
Absolutely. If you do not want to enroll in the clean boxing program, we don't want you.
If you do not want to enroll in the clean boxing program, we don't want you. I applaud this. As I've said many times, this was the reason why Errol Spence lost his number 3 ranking with the WBC, because he's not enrolled in the program. I made a comment on that video just to point it out to anybody who don't know. Okay, and I've been calling and asking why he did not enroll. Why he did not enroll, why he did not take the test. I applaud Mr. Suleiman for what he said, for taking this stance, man. Crack it down. We want a clean sport here, a fair sport, man. So I just needed to point that out. And I applaud Mr. Suleiman. And hey, to anybody out there who wants to say I'm hating, hey, I'm telling the truth. I'm simply telling the truth. It's only hating because I'm talking about somebody you like. I'm not the reason that Errol Spence did not enroll in a clean boxing program. I am not the reason he didn't. That's on him. He should have enrolled. He could still enroll. He could enroll right now. So, as I've said before, Brook, IBF welterweight champion, voluntarily enrolled when he could use the IBF as an excuse. He does not. He is enrolled in the program, man. So I'm pointing that out again. If anybody don't like it, oh well. All right. Now, oh boy, I'm going through my YouTube feed, man, and I come across some interviews with Teddy Atlas. There were a group of guys, Sekback, Dante, had their cameras out. They talked to they talked to Teddy Atlas for, looks like, about 30 minutes, I think, because I think Sekback had to upload up for like 30 something minutes. All right. And I came across a video. The first video I came across by ES News. Teddy Atlas, only one to maybe beat Errol Spence's Keith Thurman. That's it at 147. I will put the links to all these videos in the comment section at some point. Okay. Now, I am titling this video Teddy Atlas is a Spencer character. Okay. Now, let's go on the record. Let's be official with what a Spencer character is. All right. Computer, please tell my viewers what a Spencer character is.
A Spencer character is Errol Spence, a fan of Errol Spence, as someone who projects him to greatness when he hasn't achieved it yet. The term Spencer character was coined by Brook when questioned about Errol Spence in January 2017.
All right, so it is official. A Spencer character is either Errol Spence himself, a fan of Errol Spence, or someone who projects him to greatness when he has not achieved it yet. All right. And Teddy Atlas fits into that category. I am a fan of Teddy Atlas. I like Teddy Atlas. I enjoy hearing what he has to say. He's entertaining, he's charismatic, and he's honest. But I feel he is way off the mark here, and he kind of contradicted himself big time, I would say. All right, now let's get into what he said to Illy Sackback and Dante. All right, okay. Teddy on Brook Spence. All right, he said that he moved Golovkin out of his top 10 pound for pound to put Errol Spence in. All right, who was an unproven guy. All right, 4 to 4 seconds into the video, he says, "I'm not afraid to say it. I think he's gonna stop. I wouldn't be surprised not only if he wins, but stops. He forgets Kell Brook's name, and he has to be reminded. Then he says, I love Spence. I think he's the real full package. The only guy I can see beating him in the welterweight division is Thurman, the most athletic guy in boxing and one of the smartest. That would be the fight, him and Spence, if Spence gets past Brook, which I think he will." All right. Okay. And Dante says, "That's interesting, Teddy. I thought Kell Brook would be the toughest for Spence out of all the welterweight champions." Teddy says, "No, I don't think so. But it's his toughest right now, because that's the one in front of him." All right. Now, let me get to what he said in a separate video, same interview, but it was chopped up. This one was uploaded by Dante. All right. Dante's Boxing Nation is titled "Teddy Atlas on Golovkin Being Overrated and Exposed by Jacobs and Kell Brook." At 3 minute and 58 second mark of that video, he says, "When it comes to Golovkin being top 10 pound for pound, all right, I look at body of work. I looked at it and said, wait a minute. He beat all 35, 36-year-old European junior middleweights for the most part to get his resume up to this record. Who did he? I'm not saying he didn't beat nobody, but do those guys sound as scary as that noise back there? That noise sounds scary. It was a noise in the background. But those guys don't sound real scary to me." So his body of work, I looked at it. I said, wait a minute. This isn't a body of work where I can close my eyes and say, even though he's not as smart as Lomachenko, he's beating such good fighters. He must be doing something right. I have to put him on my top 10 pound for pound. No, I didn't equate it that way. All right. So, now I have said that I'm not a Golovkin guy. As I've said, I thought Kell was beating Golovkin. And I thought Jacobs clearly beat Golovkin. All right. But to put Errol Spence over Golovkin in top 10 pound for pound, when hell, I do not even put Golovkin in my top 10 pound for pound. But does Spence deserve to be in over Golovkin? No. No, because Spence, what has he done? Who has he beaten, as I have said? You know, Teddy is criticizing Golovkin for guys on his resume, but this guy has multiple title defenses, and he has the likes of a Lemieux, Brook, Jacobs. He's faced these kind of guys. These kind of guys on his resume, you know. But he wants to downgrade Golovkin, take him out of the top 10 pound for pound, and put an Errol Spence in who has beaten who. In comparison to who Golovkin has faced. You know, that's off the mark, man. That is very contradictory. Who has Errol Spence beat to build his record up? Should we go down the list? Okay, Leonard Bundu, as I said, nobody was calling for him to fight Floyd or Manning in his prime. All right, Chris Algieri, a 140 pounder who should not be fighting at welterweight with no punching power. who had taken what 3 beatings from Provodnikov, Pacquiao, and Khan. You know, was what 1 for I believe what was he 1 for 4 in his last his last 4 fights. He is 1-3 in his last 4 fights. You know, all right. Who else on the resume for Spence? All right, Barrera, not Sullivan Barrera, Alejandro Barrera. Okay, Chris Van Heerden, Phil LaGreco, Sammy Vargas, Francisco Javier Castro, Noel Bolanos, Ronald Cruz, Raymond Charles, Peter Oluch, Gerardo Cuevas, Emmanuel Larte. Okay, do any of those guys sound scary, Teddy? Are you talking about the guys on Golovkin's resume not sounding scary? What about these guys? You know, nobody can point these guys out in a lineup. Okay, but we want to criticize Golovkin's opponents and take him out of top 10 pound for pound, but put Spence in the top 10 pound for pound when, according to you, body of work matters. Who has he beaten? What champions has he beaten? What titles has he won? Okay, all right. Let's be fair here. You know, You're talking out both sides of his mouth. You know, so Teddy, you contradicted yourself on that, man. You know, this attitude, man, this helps contribute to the enlarging of the ego of Errol Spence. To contributes to the arrogance. We have Derek James on the record, saying right there by Errol Spence that he is more skilled and a lot more polished than Marvin Hagler. A guy who was undisputed champion, for well over 6 years. All right, a Hall of Famer, a guy who had 67 fights in his career. I am not saying anybody is more skilled and more polished when they have only had 21 fights in their career over an all-time legend. I'm not saying that shit, man. You know, but we have people like Derek James saying this. Remember, what was that in January when Sugar Ray Leonard, in an IFL interview, which I never mentioned, when he said that Kell Brook does not have the power or the experience to beat Errol Spence. Both way off the mark. Apparently, clearly, Sugar Ray Leonard does not know much or anything about Kell Brook. Okay, so we have people saying all these kind of things. All these aficionados, people who have been around the game for a long time. We got Teddy, put him in the top 10 pound for pound when he has not beaten anybody, but Golovkin has beaten names that we know. Champions, former champions, and he's not in the top 10. All right. You know, we have all these people talking this kind of stuff. We have Mayweather giving an endorsement. We have fans and media, massaging this guy on the ass, telling him he's going to be the next big thing, all this kind of stuff. You know, all these type of attitudes, man, contributing to this guy's ego getting big, contributing to the public hype, contributing to gamblers putting big money on him to beat Kell Brook. While Kell Brook, who has been IBF champion for 2.5 years at this point, who was undefeated, came to another country, beat an undefeated champion, has defended his belt 3 times. 2 against mandatories, 1 against the voluntary. If you do not like the names of the mandatories, blame the IBF. Do not blame Kell. That's out of his control. He has defended his title 3 times. He is about to defend it again. All right, and had the balls to go up to challenge a Golovkin. All right, but yet this guy, continues to be disrespected by aficionados, media, fans. Guy who did all the things that I just said. Hell, Teddy Ellis cannot even remember Kell Brook's name. And I remember in the Golovkin fight, how I wanted him to continue in that fight. How I did not want Engel to throw a towel in that fight. And I'm telling you, man, the more I see things like this, man, I'm kind of glad Engel did pull him out now, man, because what would it be worth? When the man is not respected, the man is not praised, for his fighter attitude, for being voluntarily enrolled in the IB, I mean in the WBC clean boxing program when he is IBF champion. You know, when they gave Errol Spence the number 3 ranking, and he did not sign up for the program. But yet, you know, we put him up on a pedestal, and Kell Brook can't get no respect. You know, I tell you, man, if Kell Brook decided to become a businessman like all these other guys in the game, man, instead of him wanting to you know, go for greatness, you know, give fans respect, give fans great fights, if Kell Brook all of a sudden decide, you know what, I'm gonna be like Eric St. Lar, the Cuban, as I call him. I'm gonna be like Canelo Alvarez. You know, I'm gonna take the easiest fight, as Floyd would say and recommend. I'm gonna take the easiest fight for the biggest payday. You know, take on these, you know, Frankie Gavin, Jojo Dan types over in the UK in Sheffield, fill up an arena, make a good chunk of money, and, you know, not put himself at risk, you know. And then, you know, then the fans say, oh man, he ain't fighting nobody. You know, but then when he fights Golovkin, they say, oh man, what a dumbass, man. He should have fought welterweights, man. That was dumb. He should have moved up 2 weight classes, man. You know, why do that, man? You know, the guy does not win either way, man. Kell Brook does not win either way. You know, cannot get respect from anybody. Uh, you know, it's sad, man. You know, it is sad, man. Uh, you know, and I had to do a video on this and point it out, man. You know, Teddy, you way off the mark, man. And if things go the way I expect them to go on May 27th, I will be serving Teddy Atlas a nice spoonful of crow when I'm serving it up to the rest of the Spencer characters, man. You know, um, this was ridiculous in my opinion, man. You know, Teddy has been around the game since what, the late '70s, early '80s, man. You know, and you know, he has given greatness to Errol Spence when he has done what? You know, when he has done what? You know, Keith Thurman, the most athletic guy in boxing. I don't think so. He's gonna Keith Thurman will give Errol Spence more of a test than Kell Brook. I don't think so. You know, I got Kell Brook beating Thurman and Spence. All right, so uh, I think that's about it, man. Uh, you know, I really shouldn't spend too much time on this, man. I just had to, you know, say what Teddy said, how he contradicted himself, um, and how it adds to, you know, the legendary status of Errol Spence. You know, let's go ahead and put Errol Spence in the Hall of Fame. Let's go ahead and give Errol Spence the undisputed crown at welterweight. Hell, and let's go ahead and give him a title at 154 while we at it. All right, let's just go ahead and anoint him. Let's put him on pay-per-view. Let's all pay $75 to watch Errol Spence fight. You know, according to legend, he is the greatest spar of all time. You know, he beat up Floyd. He knocked out Broner. You know, he apparently Sean Porter couldn't handle him. You know, all these guys, Charles Hadley, according to Derek James. You know, who else did he dominate in sparring? Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Carlos Monzon. You know, who else did Errol Spence dominate in sparring? I would like to know. You know, maybe as a baby, maybe he sparred Mike Tyson and gave him a rough time. You know, hell, maybe he spars with Deontay Wilder and works him. You know, because apparently Errol Spence is the greatest spar of all time. You know, and because of his sparring exploits, you know, he is going to be the GOAT. You know, with no head movement, no combinations. Okay, we'll see how it works out at Bramble Lane, May 27th. You know, I think Teddy's going to be very disappointed, and the rest of these Spencer characters are going to be very disappointed. Also, Showtime Showtime Sports here on YouTube, they have uploaded the Porter Brook fight. You know, and at some point, maybe tomorrow if I have time, at some point I'm going to watch and judge that fight, and I will do a classic post fight on that fight. I still need to do the Golovkin fight also, so be on the lookout for that. You know, Really wasn't my intention to make another video, another Brook Spence video right away, but I keep seeing and hearing things to where I have to comment. And this one I had to comment and point out what was said. So I think that's about it, guys. If I have missed anything, I will leave a comment in the comment section. Uh, I'm going to try to get a little sleep here before work. And hey, I'll be checking in with you guys soon, man. Y'all take care.